here's why.
Because today we're going under the sea. I'm Becca.
I'm Isaac.
And I'm Eni, and this is Sincerely Us, a podcast for the casual musical theater fan. Isaac, you're here.
Yes, I am, and I'm very excited to be here. Should be a good time.
It's going to be so much fun. Okay, so for those that don't know, Isaac is one of our favorite Disney content creators on YouTube. His channel, Wotso Videos, has a ton of awesome, creative, wonderful Disney content, and we will be leaving links in the description to all of his stuff so you guys can check him out. Recently, you've kind of ventured into the world of podcasting.
Yes, I have.
Your show, Following Dreams, right? That's what it's called?
Yes.
Has very quickly become one of our favorites. Becca and I talk about it like every time you release an episode. It's awesome. And then I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention this, and don't worry, I'll cut it if I'm not. But you're partnering with, what is it, Vacationeer?
Yes.
To start planning, to start being able to help people plan their trips to Disney parks, which I am personally very excited for. And if I can't talk about it, that's fine, Isaac, I'll cut it. So how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for the great introduction, talking about all the things I've been up to. Much like you, I've recently got into podcasting, I've said, and it's been quite the journey so far, like trying to figure out how to speak more fluidly without so many like breaks and pauses that you have to like edit out. That's something that it's like been such a difficult thing to do. And then, yes, I'm working with the Vacationeer, and I'll be able to book trips for people, and it's very exciting. I've been working on the website all week, and I've been working with my partner doing that, and so it's been a very fun process.
I legitimately cannot wait because I'm definitely planning a trip to Disneyland next year, which will be my first trip out to California, to Disneyland. So I definitely will be hitting you up when the time comes for that.
Which is great, because the last time I went, we went for like 6 days. So by the end, we had Disneyland pretty much memorized.
Well, you went to the expo too, right?
Yeah, we also went to D23 Expo, which was a lot of fun. But the thing about that was it was really busy, and it was very to everything that you actually wanted to.
Yeah.
So it was a difficult process. So most of the time we just went to Disneyland.
That sounds like exactly what would happen with me. Like I would show up to the expo and be like, this is way too many people, and then go to the parks. Like
That's
that would
how
be
I was.
That's my MO.
That's how I was when I went to the Vlogbrothers convention in 2017, which only had 3,000 people, and there was just too many for me that I was like, I can just hang out in the back. That's fine. I guess conventions aren't my thing.
That's what I kind of felt like too, is like this was the first convention I had ever been to, and I was just like, well, I don't know if I'm really interested in all of this stuff. Like this is supposed to be my expo. Like if I'm going to enjoy any expo, Disney Expo is going to be it, and it was not. So
I feel like you went kind of hard though. Like D23 is a huge event. Like it's a huge event. I feel like you should have maybe started off smaller and worked your way up to D23.
I mean that would have been a smart idea. To be honest.
So Isaac, before we get started with our conversation, just so us and our audience know, what are your preferred pronouns?
He, his, him.
Perfect. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's jump into our potatoes. Becca, what's your first potato this week?
My first potato is something that will come as no shock to anyone in our audience, but I have been, like, I guess, falling in love with Ben Platt this whole week. I've been listening to all of his solo music because they just did the Politician re-release of all the music that was on the Politician. So that's all I've been listening to all week, besides podcasts.
Dang.
Isaac, what about you?
First thing first is I was given a free week of HelloFresh from the great Jordan Belke. And so
we love Jordan.
Yes. And so this week I have been cooking with my girlfriend, and it's been a lot of fun.
That sounds like so much fun. I don't remember if it was HelloFresh, but I did like one of those like box things for a couple weeks. And it's a lot of fun when you have time to do it. But then I had this issue where like all of the food just kept piling up and I never had time to cook. So I ended up throwing out more food than I was like consuming. So we just thought it was better that we stopped doing that.
Yeah.
But that's awesome.
It's a lot of fun because you like learn how to cook while you do it. So that's a really good potato.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Eni, what's your first?
Okay, so my first potato is that I bought tickets to see Sarah Bareilles at the end of the month. And I know Becca's looking at me because I actually in real life haven't told her about this yet. So it was my hope that Sarah Bareilles would be closing out Waitress in New York. And she's not. So I knew that she was coming down to Miami for her concert. But I was kind of holding off on buying tickets because if I was planning on going to New York to see her, then I wasn't going to buy tickets to see her in Miami. But she's not going to be in New York, so we bought tickets, and I'm very excited. I love Sarah Bareilles so much.
She's a great artist.
Becca, what's your second potato?
So kind of on the same vein, I bought tickets this week too. Not the Lightning Thief. I mentioned that last week.
I was like, you can't use that 2 weeks in a row.
But there's the Friends pop-up that's been going around the country is coming to Boston. And my sister and I are like huge Friends fans. And so she texted me, I'm actually going with all of her and her college friends, which is hilarious because they're all like 14 years older than me. But we're going to Boston for the pop-up in December.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool.
I'm so excited. It's just, it's cool to do things with my siblings considering they're so much older than me that it's like rare that we have the same interests. And so I'm really excited to, get to spend time with her.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see all of the pictures.
So many pictures.
Isaac, what about you? What's your second potato?
The second potato would be that I'm getting a whole bunch of new equipment for making videos. So I'm getting new lights. I got new speakers for my computer. I got a new mouse. So a whole bunch of things, hopefully to make the production a little bit higher, a little bit nicer. And so I'm pretty excited about that.
That's awesome.
so exciting.
For real. I love getting new equipment. I'm such a nerd.
Too.
Like I work in an office, so like I get excited over like pens and like notepads and like a new mouse. So like I feel that like excitement for sure.
Edie, what's your second?
Okay, so my second potato is that I had lunch with my mom today.
Aw, Mama Wendy.
Yeah, I didn't realize like I haven't seen my mom since we got back from Chicago like almost a month ago. And wow. I know. And it's crazy because we live like 2 miles away from each other. It's not like we live far away. So it just, whatever, our schedules have been opposite. Like we've had opposite schedules for the last few weeks. So I haven't seen her. And so I finally got to have lunch with her and we caught up. And it was just like, at the end of lunch, we were just like, hey, I missed you. And it was like super nice to catch up with her. I love my mom.
I love your mom too.
Yeah, I know. She loves you. Also, I'm pretty sure she was still avoiding me after our Phantom of the Opera episode.
Wendy, he's a murderer. I'm sorry.
She still loves him somehow. Okay, so let's do the last one. Becca, what's your last potato?
Honestly, this is going to be like the most boring adult answer I've ever given on this podcast, but I've been sleeping really well lately, and that like doesn't happen. So I've just been loving it.
Proud of you.
I know.
I
never
don't know how
sleep.
many times I wake up and like I get like text messages from you like I can't sleep. I still can't sleep. Look at the time and I still can't sleep.
Yeah. So I've just been like sleeping like a bear and it's been great.
That's awesome. It's the weather. It's
probably
it's cold.
And dark.
Must be nice.
It's not that nice.
It's really not.
Rooch,
I had frost on my car today.
Rooch snapped me this morning that it was like 19 degrees. And she's like, I wish it would be warm. So I snapped her back and it was like 82 degrees at the same time down here. And she's like, I hate you.
That day that it was 45 here and 90 there, where you were, I said to my mom, I was like, our Eni is literally double our temperature right now.
Yeah. Sorry. But also, I'm very envious because I like the cold weather.
Yeah, it's fine.
So I'll trade places whenever you want.
All right.
Isaac, what's your last potato?
So the last one is that since Halloween has concluded, there's now a lot of Christmas stuff in the stores. So I've been enjoying to go see the lights, go to see some Christmas trees, and I've been enjoying walking around and seeing those now.
Well,
that's awesome.
Becca's a Grinch, but it's fine.
I like that it brings Isaac joy. That brings me joy.
Fair enough. I love this. I was actually listening to Christmas music in my office today, so
same.
I'm all for it. I'm all about the Christmas season.
I mean, I teach children, so I've been listening to Christmas music for a month, getting ready for our Christmas show. So, like, I like Christmas music.
I guess.
All right, last potato, Eni, hit me with it.
Okay, so my last potato is that on Sunday I will be driving up to Port St. Lucie for my godson's christening, and I'm super excited.
Oh,
and
very cool.
He's adorable. He just turned 3 months yesterday? I don't know. He's 3 months old now, and he's adorable, and I love him, and I can't wait to go and spend time with him and his 2 sisters, who are my goddaughters.
I love them, and I've never met them, but they're adorable.
They are. You need to meet them. They're awesome. Okay, so we are talking about the Little Mermaid Live today. We haven't even really talked about what we're talking about.
Too busy talking about Issac planning all of the Disney trips.
Issac, you don't know what you've done. I'm going, you have no idea what you've done. It's going to be terrible. I'm going to be, messaging you all the time, should I book this, or should I book that, or should I book this, or should I book that? As if I don't already know what to book at Disney World. I'm pretty, I'm pretty set when it comes to Disney World. I would like to think that I'm an expert at Disney World. Mm-hmm. Disneyland is a whole other thing.
Yeah. It can be a whole other beast.
Oh, for sure. Okay, so we're talking about the Little Mermaid Live. ABC, or what did they call it? The Wonderful World of Disney, aired the Little Mermaid Live on Tuesday. What is today?
Thursday.
November 6th.
Today. Okay, so no, today's the 7th. So
it was on the 5th.
It was on
Never
the 5th.
mind.
Yeah, today's
I don't know what I'm talking about.
So on Tuesday, November 5th, ABC had the Wonderful World of Disney presents the Little Mermaid Live. And it was this, it wasn't entirely the Broadway show, and it wasn't entirely the movie. It was this, mix of both of them. And, I have thoughts and opinions, and...
Yeah, but, Eni, you will never like anything Disney does.
That's not true! How can you say that? I love
it is when they talk
Disney
about
does.
Remakes. Anytime there's any remake, you hate it.
That's not true.
Okay, so before Eni gets into her feelings, how did you like it, Issac?
I thought it was a interesting way of going about producing a production that's based on a film. I think it made a lot of sense how they did it, and I think there were some good entertaining aspects to it. I didn't think it was the definitive version if you're going to watch The Little Mermaid or you're going to watch people live singing it. I would recommend looking up the songs that they did and watch the Broadway version. But hey, you know what? It was kind of like The Voyage of the Little Mermaid in Hollywood studios. You can kind of get that vibe, but it was kind of a weird juxtaposition between the two that kind of felt jarring and wasn't the most refined product.
I agree. You are so eloquent in how you say that.
Thank you.
Have either of you seen the Broadway Little Mermaid show?
Not live.
I've never seen it in its entirety, but I've watched the songs and listened to the songs here and there. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I have. I've seen the show. My mom is a huge Little Mermaid fan. This is knowledge of most of the people that listen to this show because I talk about it a lot. My mom loves The Little Mermaid. My stepdad proposed to her in front of Ariel at Disney World in Magic Kingdom in her grotto. She loves The Little Mermaid. So we've seen the Broadway show. I forgot how much of the Little Mermaid movie I actually still have memorized from my childhood because whenever they had the actual movie clips playing, I was reciting them. I don't know, I thought the stage was gorgeous. I thought the set pieces were great. Some of the costumes were amazing. Some of the puppets were amazing. But I just felt like it was lacking in, different areas. Becca, what did you think?
I loved it. I loved every aspect of it. I'm a huge projection nerd. So when they did all of the taking the screen in and out, a lot of it wasn't even just being raised. They sucked it away, so it like ripped away. I thought that was so cool. I loved the way that they did like live action with the projections. I loved the entire thing except for the Flounder puppet. That's my only complaint.
That poor Flounder puppet. Oh my god. Like, how do you... Flounder is such a main character. Like, how do you do that?
I don't understand how you have the resources of, like, Flounder puppets exist. It's not like...
I could have legitimately gone to a Disney store and bought a stuffed Flounder.
Yeah, and put it on a stick.
And it would have been better.
Yes.
And that would have been a million times better than what they had on stage. Mm-hmm. And listen, I'm not here to sit and take a crap on Disney. I love Disney.
Agreed.
You two know that I love Disney. Okay, but I feel like if you're going to put out a production and you're going to do this and it's going to be your like, hey, we're going to do this. And in between, we're going to sell the crap out of Disney Plus. Like, it needs to be a great thing. I think Queen Latifah was amazing.
True.
I think Ali'i was okay. I love her voice. I was pleased that she was able to at least alter her voice so it wasn't Moana singing Ariel songs.
I did like that. Yeah, I agree.
She definitely altered her voice so it sounded different. Mm-hmm. I thought that John Stamos was terrible. I did not like him at all. He looked like he was like out of breath and didn't know what he was doing the entire time he was running around stage. I thought that Shaggy was okay. I mean, he's Shaggy. Like, he doesn't sing. So him singing was weird. And also, like, they could have done so much more with his costume. Like, he literally just wore a red leather jacket and red pants and red shoes.
I was very confused by that as well. I didn't understand why you would create a live action musical and not use highly trained people to sing live.
I agree.
I understand let's push the star power. And I get that marketing ploy, but I just, for the end product, I don't think it's always the best move.
I don't either. And I mean, Queen Latifah doesn't have the best voice, but I thought she performed the hell out of that part. I thought she was great. I thought she was amazing as Ursula. Mm-hmm. I loved the fact that they had a plus size mermaid sister that melted my heart. I was like really happy about that.
The representation in general was awesome.
Absolutely.
Even all the pirates, there was like 4 girls.
And Grimsby was a person of color, which was amazing. Mm-hmm. Eric's lisp was like adorable.
Graham Phillips I honestly did not expect him to sing as well as he did. Is he a Broadway actor?
I don't know who he is.
I don't either.
I don't know who he is. And like the first Fathoms Below, I wasn't impressed, to be honest.
Right.
Like, I thought the dancing was great. I thought the choreography was great. I thought Grimsby was great. I wasn't floored by Eric's performance in that first song. But the next song that he sings, which I don't even remember what it is, I thought was a lot better.
Do you guys want to know who he is?
Sure.
He's the main kid from the show Ben 10. Do you guys remember that show from like...
Yeah.
Wow.
He's Ben 10.
Oh. Wow.
Wow. Diving deep.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's hilarious.
See, like, I love that they had like an actual dog on stage.
Me too.
That also
I almost cried
happy.
Every time that kid came out. Every time that dog came out. I was like...
I thought that the puppet for the eels was great. Like,
yes.
The show had really good aspects that I feel like should have brought it together, but it just felt like it was lacking. Like, it wasn't polished. I feel like they've been practicing that for like 4 days and put it together on stage.
That's how I felt about Shaggy's performance. He seemed really uncomfortable, especially at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then once Under the Sea came on even more, he seemed much more like performing, but he seemed very uncomfortable because obviously he's not like an actor.
Yeah, he's not.
So
like I don't know what Disney was thinking with him. And don't get me wrong, like, I love Shaggy. Having, like, we listen to a lot of Shaggy in this house. But I don't know. I don't think he was right for that part at all. Even though he's actually Jamaican, so
that's what I was gonna ask. How did Linton like him?
No. We were laughing the whole time. Like, we were just laughing, like, and like, Kiss the Girl is like one of my favorite songs. And I was just like, leading up to it, I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be terrible. I'm not ready for this. Like, I was already like my heart was pounding. I'm like, he's gonna ruin this song for me. And like, it wasn't bad. He by no means ruined that song for me. It wasn't bad, but it definitely wasn't as good as it could have been. The transition from movie to stage, I thought was going to be a lot worse. Like, I thought it wasn't, I don't want to say it was seamless, but I think they did an all right job transitioning from one to another. But I don't know, like, I would have rather them either put on a concert and be like, here, these are like a stage concert. Like, these are the best songs from the Broadway show and the movie, or put on a full Broadway show live. That's how I feel about it.
I can understand that point of view. I think for me, I think it would have made sense for it to be the entire story if the moments that they took out of the actual animation to make live action were the polished gems that you were kind of alluding to earlier. Is that if those would have been showstoppers every single time, it would have been exciting to switch to the live action.
Yeah.
But the problem is that when you have this idea of what it should sound like and what it should look like, and especially if you've seen it in the Broadway version, that those are your expectations going into it, and they don't exceed that in some type of production way, then it seems like it's less worth to go away from the animated time. Like, the one that really stood out was Poor Unfortunate Soul, where it was if it was always like Poor Unfortunate Soul, where it was people pouring their entire being into it, it would be really fun and an interesting experience. But I don't think they did enough to warrant switching away from the 1989 classic. Yeah.
I agree. I completely agree with that. And it sucks because, like, Poor Unfortunate Soul for me, and I think we can agree, was, like, the best live performance on there. And Queen Latifah still messed up like, a lyric, and people are just, like, crapping on her for that.
I didn't even notice.
The part where it says, and don't underestimate the importance of body language, she says, don't forget to underestimate. Like, she added something in there, and people are, like, super upset about it. But, like...
Yeah, but they changed the words and they changed the lyrics in other parts too. So, like, I don't know, like, who knows if it was on purpose or not? But I don't know. I just think as a whole, like, because I'm a big Disney fan, but I'm not as big in the online community as like the two of you are. I don't see any of this.
Oh, I do. I do. I mean, like, I tweeted about about how, like, Ariel being 16 should have meant that the contract was, like, not valid because she was a minor. And, like, I hashtagged the Little Mermaid live because, like, it came to me while I was watching it. Yeah. And, like, I clicked the hashtag and I was, like, going through, like, what people were saying, like, as it was happening, and people were brutal. Like, overall, as much as I'm complaining about it, like, I enjoyed it. I think that it was, you know, I would watch it. I probably won't watch it again. I know that the Ali'i version of Part of Your World is already on, like, Spotify. Like, but it's an actual, like, studio recording. It's not, like, the live version, which is kind of great because she definitely missed that note at the end.
You can see it on her face.
Yeah, I know. I like, my heart broke for her because, like, it's a live performance. Like, you're gonna hit it or you're not gonna hit it. It doesn't mean that she's a terrible singer. She's not. Like, we've all seen Moana. Like, she's not a bad singer. But yeah, I just, like, I enjoyed it in the moment, and, like, I don't know. I think that they kind of just threw it together. They didn't polish it as much as I like to see Disney products be polished.
Well, I think and well, like, we come from the perspective of, like, we've seen tons of live shows at the Disney parks, so we have, like, an idea. We've got our idea of what it should be.
Exactly.
And the thing is if you aren't concerned about all of the nitty gritty of it, I think it is harmless fun. If I had kids, I would have turned it on and I would have enjoyed it with them. And I don't think kids are worried about the same things that we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're just saying, hey, Disney, you've set this bar. It'd be really great if you always hit this bar. We know you're the television division, but, like, come on, guys. Come on.
Well, that's the thing is that, like, I watched, like, all of the Wonderful World of Disney, like, shows. Like, when they did, for Mickey's birthday, that they had, like, all of, like, a bunch of different performances. Like, they had the Mickey's, like, 90th birthday celebration or whatever. I watched that.
Yeah, where
like,
he played the drums.
Yes. That was great. I've seen, I forgot which one. I think they did one for Disneyland, like, not too long ago, like, back for the Disneyland anniversary. Because I remember Tori Kelly singing with Kermit. And, like, so I've watched, like, all of these shows that are mainly, like, just concert pieces. They're not, like, Broadway shows or attempting to be a Broadway show. And they're great. They're polished, you know, like, you have a bunch of the Disney Channel, like, tweens that come out and sing and everybody has fun and whatever it is. And I think that those productions are so much more well put together than this was.
I think the thing with something like that is that it's so much more common on TV, where it's like American Idol's been going for over like 20 seasons, and they've got all these types of shows that do that type of thing where it's
it's a concert versus like
where it's like a host introduces something and then you get a number. But when there's things like that, like Disney typically will like raise the bar by having a lot of performers and having a lot of props and doing everything like that during those shows. But when you frame it as a Broadway show, it suddenly becomes like it suddenly gains like an extra filter of you need this type of production value. Whereas
exactly.
like a reward show or like the end of a week of American Idol, you don't expect that type of caliber.
Yeah, I get you. Especially like after having shows like Hairspray Live and Grease Live that Fox has done that have been amazing shows that have done the entire like Broadway thing live for TV. And they, like, yes, NBC has had a bunch of misses, and Fox has also had misses. But, like, they're getting to a point where they did Rent Live, and Rent Live wasn't the best that it could be because of injury issues. But Grease was amazing. Hairspray was amazing. And, like, I kind of went in there saying, okay, that's Fox. And this Fox, you know, prior to the Disney buyout. You know, like, I'm ready for Disney to show these people how it's done. Like, that's how my mindset is. And maybe that's my fault because I am such a Disney fan and I do hold Disney to, like, a higher bar, a higher caliber than, like, anything else because of how much of a Disney fan I am. But yeah, I was let down. I really was. I'm sorry, Becca.
I mean, it's fine. I'm such, like, I don't know. I think that what they should have done is done how they did with Wicked. Where they had just the concert and all of these artists. Obviously, it wasn't Disney, but they had all of the artists sing all these covers of Wicked songs. And it was like, it was a stage production, but they weren't telling a story. And I think if they had gone in that route and had just taken like Disney legends and had them all sing songs from The Little Mermaid, I think that it might have been better. But I loved the innovation that they did matching it all. Oh, but I'm also like not picky, so...
Yeah, I mean, again, like, there are definitely aspects of the show that I loved. I thought the costumes were amazing. I thought that all of the mermaid tales were gorgeous. The part where, like, Ariel's daydreaming and it's, like, her and Eric swimming and it's, like, they have, like, one person on the line, like, behind the screen and she's, like, singing or whatever. That something similar like that happens in the Broadway show. So, like, I kind of already expected it, but it's still breathtaking, you know, to watch. And the fact that, like, Ali was on, like, the strings or whatever, like, in front of the screen, and wherever she would move, there would be bubbles following her. So, like, they have attention to detail in so many things that, like, I don't understand how it just kind of fell flat. Like, because they do, like, put attention to detail to stupid things like that. You know, when there's a part where Ursula's singing and she talks about having magic and, like, literally sparks fly out in the screen behind her and it's gorgeous. You know, so it's just, you can't do both. You can't have all of that attention to detail and then just not have all of the attention to detail in, like, another aspect of the show.
Yeah, like, there was, like, why would you put time and money into those things and then not have a Sebastian puppet?
Right?
Like,
it would have been great with a Sebastian puppet and someone off stage singing the part.
Yeah.
Kind of like Audrey too.
Yeah, exactly. In Little Shop.
Yeah, because even if it had been Shaggy, whatever, had him off to the side, or even if they had featured him like they did with Amber Riley and the Mermaids, even if they had featured him, they still should have had a puppet.
Well, that was another complaint of mine, because they were promoting Amber Riley as, like, the MC of this. And, like, I expected Amber Riley, because of the way that they said that and they had set that up, I expected it to be more of a, like, stage production, like a concert production, and her being, like, the announcer. So when she came out and sang the like, Sisters song or whatever, I was over the moon. I love Amber Riley. But then she never came back. So I was just like, okay, well, that's weird.
Well, because she's the MC of that concert. She's not the MC of... She's the MC of the concert that Ariel's supposed to be at.
Oh, I just misunderstood that then.
Yeah, because I think she's credited as, like, Mermaid MC.
Okay. Because, like, in all of the promo, like, it just said MC. It didn't say, like...
Oh, okay.
That's why I was like, okay, so she's going to be, like, announcing, or she's going to be, like, cutting, or she's going to be something throughout the entire show, and she wasn't. What else? I don't know. I know that I'm crapping on it a lot, but I did enjoy it. Like, I got excited. Like, I'm obviously someone that is, like, moved by music, so, like... I got emotional because it's The Little Mermaid. I thought that the Eric and Ariel duet was great. Did you guys catch the Easter eggs in Ariel's room?
No.
There's I think it's like little portraits of Captain Hook and I forgot who else it was.
That's awesome.
Like little like artwork like on the wall of them in Ariel's room when they're singing that duet.
Oh, that's really cool.
Like, I caught it and I was like, oh my god.
I never catch Easter eggs. I always have to watch those videos. and I will watch like a 45-minute video of someone explaining to me every single one.
Yeah, it's 2 picture frames. One of them of Lady Tremaine and the other one of Captain Hook. That's what it is. So I was like, oh, caught it.
One of the things that I liked a lot was, especially in the Under the Sea section, and even when Ariel was on the surface, was all of these puppets that were on strings. And they, like, really reminded me of those birds from The Lion King. Like, I haven't seen The Lion King yet, but obviously I've seen every video I can find of them. And I'm, like, I'm really impressed every time of those stupid puppets. They have them in the Finding Nemo musical, too. And I just, like, love those puppets, and I want to play with one so bad.
Look at you referencing the Finding Nemo musical.
Listen, great. The Big Blue World. My kids in my musical theater class now love that song, so it's all up to you.
Ooh, good choice.
I love that show so much. Yeah, you have no idea. The puppets in the Lion King musical are like insane. I've watched like probably like 6 or 7 hours of like behind the scenes of like people getting dressed into their like giraffe puppet thing. And like the elephants and like the gazelles that they have like 3 of them attached to their body. And it's that show is gorgeous.
Have you seen that show, Isaac?
Yeah, I have. I went and saw it this year in January, and I got to sit on like the aisle seat. So I had all of the animals like come right down next to me, and that was really cool to experience.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
amazing.
The animals walk from like the back of the theater to the stage. And like the sides of the theater to the stage. So they're like walking through the aisles. It's amazing. The show is so good.
See, like as an audience member, like I really appreciate that. But as someone who went to school for stage managing, I just get like instant anxiety about that because all the stage managers were probably like right before all of that was like, are the aisles clear? Can the actors get through? And so like every time I hear anything like that, I'm like, oh my God, I would have the worst anxiety right before that.
Oh my gosh. No, that show is so good. I saw it, I want to say it's been like 3 or 4 years now since I've seen it. And it's definitely my favorite adaptation of The Lion King.
Wow.
I know. Full stop too. Like no question in my mind. And I am a huge Lion King like fan. Of the original animated one, asterisk.
Don't get her started on the remake.
No. It wasn't as bad as Aladdin, but whatever.
We can't. We've gone months without talking about this. We can't talk about this anymore.
We definitely talked about this like 3 weeks ago. It's fine. Anyway, but when I saw the Broadway show and like I experienced that whole like just that entire thing like on the stage, it was life-changing for me. I thought it was gorgeous.
I really liked the Festival of the Lion King because for probably the same reasons, like with the show, I like that both of them have like such African culture mixed in with them, whereas like the movies do not. And I think that it's so interesting to see, you know, a culture that I'm not a part of, nor do I know a lot of, and I like to see like different cultures on stage. But Festival of the Lion King, still the best show at Disney World. I'm not.
Finding Nemo's better. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What do you think, Isaac? Which one's better?
If I was going to choose, I'd probably keep Festival of the Lion King. But I love the Finding Nemo one. It's
Nemo
very
show
good.
Is so good.
Yeah. Finding Nemo the musical. I mean, they've got a lot of those types of props as well, where they'll take the jellyfish all the way down the aisle. I remember being right at the bar, and so they'd go past.
Or when
I've seen that show.
The swordfishes are dueling and they're like fencing in front of you. That show is so good. I love that show so much.
The last time I went to the Festival of the Lion King, though, I was with a cast member tour guide. So we got to go in the front. And one of the people I was with, Mr. Cheesy Pop, Max Glick, he got chosen to go up to the front, and like he was one of the leaders for the four different groups that are surrounding the stage that they do at the beginning. So I think he was a warthog for us.
We were warthogs when we went too.
That
was awesome. That show's really good. I'm not saying that it's not good. I think that Animal Kingdom, as far as live shows go, is definitely where it's at. But okay. I just like Finding Nemo is so good.
Ines, I have to ask you, because you're older than me and you live in Florida. So, do you remember?
I'm so nervous.
Did you go to Disney World when there was a Lion King show where Mickey's PhilharMagic is?
Yes.
Because, okay, tell me about it. What was it like?
I was like a child. All I remember is that there was a Lion King show. Like, I cannot give you any details. I do not, like, I just remember. Just like I remember when there was Tarzan before Finding Nemo.
What?
Yeah, I'm so jealous. I want to see that.
The Tarzan, because Tarzan was on Broadway for like a very short minute. But before it was on Broadway, it was in that same theater where Finding Nemo is. So it was the Tarzan musical. That I remember because I remember freaking this guy swinging across on like vines. So like that I remember a lot more. I was also like at Animal Kingdom the weekend that it opened. So like Animal Kingdom is definitely the freshest, like from my childhood, the freshest in my mind.
Okay, that's wild. You went to Animal Kingdom the same year I was born. Me and Animal Kingdom are the same age. That's wild.
Wait, Isaac, are you younger than me?
Isaac's a child. He just turned 21.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I thought you were older than me, and I'm 25.
Oh God. Yeah, I remember being so I had to have been 7 years old then. Jesus.
Dang. Okay, because I was doing research into like, why isn't there a Lion King ride at Walt Disney World? Because it seems very clear. It was, because now with all this Frozen stuff, it's like they're throwing in Arendelles in like every Disneyland around the world. And it's like, where's Pride Rock in every Disney park? But it existed at one point.
I remember just like I have like vague memories. So like I remember Lion King. I remember Toontown because like I remember as a child.
What? Like, where was that?
So before Fantasyland, before what is now Fantasyland in Magic Kingdom.
Oh, that was Toontown. Okay.
So they had like Mickey's house and Minnie's house and Daisy's house and Goofy's and like everyone's house. Like you could like that was the meet and greet. Like you would go into their houses and Mickey would be in his house.
Okay.
So like I'm as an adult not a tall person. So like as a kid I was even shorter. So like I have vague memories of just being excited because everything in Toontown was like my size.
That's the cutest thing I've ever heard in my life.
See, that makes sense. I don't really remember that, but I remember going on the Barnstormer.
Yes.
So
no.
Yeah.
But it was Goofy's Jalopy.
Oh, yes. I knew it was Goofy. I knew.
It was.
Well, the Barnstormer is California, right?
Well, no, the Barnstormer is also at MK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense because there was a period of time like where like New Fantasyland must have been under construction. So that makes sense why I have a gap in knowledge of where Toontown was because there was just not enough recollection.
Yeah. So when most of New Fantasyland was under construction, the circus area was like the first part to open.
Yeah.
So like when they had moved Dumbo over there, and then Goofy's Jalopy, which turned into the Barnstormer when it moved over there. That was kind of like the first thing to open before everything else in New Fantasyland opened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember like pre New Fantasyland, like going to Disney, and like it was Toontown, and like I remember being extremely upset when they closed Toontown, like very very upset.
No worries, you'll get to see it again. It's in Disneyland still.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm also most likely too big to go into Toontown, but it's fine.
Do a walk around. I went like 3 years ago. I went on their little like roller coaster thing. You could still do it. You're good.
I'm basically child size. It's fine. What were we talking about? Oh, Lion King.
I don't know. I've been enjoying Disney chat with Isaac and Amy. Like, I squared. I'm just going to let y'all talk. I was enjoying that so hard.
I love Disney, like, as a whole. I love Disney movies. I love the Disney Broadway. I love, Disney music, Disney Channel. I watched a lot growing up. Like, Disney Channel original movies were, like, my thing growing up. But Disney parks hold such a special place in my heart. And that being said, that I've only ever gone to Disney World. Like, I can't wait to start going to all of the other ones, which is starting next year. But Disney parks is by far like my favorite aspect of
Mine
everything.
too.
See, as someone, I don't know if you can relate to this, Ines, but I feel like with the Disney movies and Disney parks, they're like completely different worlds that it doesn't even feel like the same hobby. Like, I remember after making videos for like two and a half years or something, and then going to Disney World, and I'm like, wow, I can't wait to get all these like Disney like ideas for videos and stuff.
Nope.
And it's like, no. And I'm like, I hadn't remembered how much of a disconnect there is. Like, there's so much lore and history of the Disney parks that's so separate from the movie. It feels like two different things completely. They're two totally different experiences, which is why there's not a lot of YouTubers who overlap with them.
Nope. That was one of my, when you interviewed Jack Kendall from DSNY News, like, I had like the biggest fangirl moment, because like I've been watching your videos and I've been watching his videos separately. And like the fact that those two worlds like combined, I was just like, what? And like, it makes sense. You both make Disney content, but it's so different. Like, it's completely different.
Well, that's how I felt about Mr. Cheesy Pop, because I've been a fan of his since he started his channel. And then I listened to your interview with him and I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life.
But that's the thing is, like, especially when it comes to Disney World, like, I feel very, and Becca was playing a game of Stump Eenie the entire time we went to Disney, because of the fact that...
Can I see if Isaac knows my fact?
Go ahead, before I finish my thought. Go ahead.
All right.
Okay, Isaac, did you know that when you are in Toy Story Land, or any time you hear Woody outside of the movies, it is not Tom Hanks, it is his brother?
Oh,
Hold
yeah.
on. Did you know that before I used that as a trivia question in your Discord server?
Okay.
Because I definitely
I'm
did.
like, I don't think I did. I did know previously that Tom Hanks' brother was the voice of Woody's voice in the toy form.
Yeah.
I did know that, but I didn't know that for the parks.
I didn't know that either. Becca, that was like her one Stump Eenie moment the entire 6 days that we were at Disney.
Don't rub it in, I still won.
Got one.
Yep.
Anyway, I wasn't aware of that, but yeah, I definitely used that as a trivia question for Isaac's server like 2 weeks ago. So thanks, Becca.
Well, you should, when you go to the parks, you can hear the difference. Like, if you know that fact and you hear Woody talk in Toy Story Land, you're like, oh, wait, that isn't Tom Hanks.
Yeah, for real. Well, that's the thing is that, like, I mean, I'm in no means an expert. I feel like I learn something new every time I go to the parks. But I'm, like, I do know a lot of, like, the trivia questions and a lot of the things, like, you know, all of the names on the second stories of Main Street, that those are all, like, the fake companies that he used to buy the land that is now Disney World. You know, like, things like that I've just, like, picked up, and, like, I'm so interested in the history of it all. that for me, like, that's probably my favorite thing especially when I go to like Magic Kingdom, that I walk down Main Street, see the castle, and bawl my eyes out. Like, and I expect that when I go to Disneyland, I might actually just like not be able to move.
My moment was when I saw Walt's apartment. Like, I was kind of like chill, like pretty chill when I walked into Disneyland, the park. And then we were just walking around, and all of a sudden I like stop in the middle of the street, and my friend who was with me, who's not a huge Disney fan like I am, she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "It's Walt's apartment." She's like, "That's a firehouse." I was like, "Yeah, but see that lamp? They leave it on for him."
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like, I know all of those things too, and I haven't been to Disneyland, but I fully expect to have an actual like moment, because like that's Disney, like he was there. So yeah, Disney parks are definitely probably my favorite aspect of all of the Disney things.
Me too.
Yeah.
I just like and I'm fortunate enough that I live close enough that I can literally just, if I'm having a bad week, decide, you know what, I'm gonna go to Disney for the weekend, and I'm just gonna spend like 12 hours at Magic Kingdom, and it legitimately like will turn my week around. But I forgot where I was going with that. I get lost in how excited I am about Disney parks. Also, Disney World turns 50, or Magic Kingdom turns 50 the same year I turn 30.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like so
2021?
excited. 2021, man. Just, I can't, like, every time I go, I get on the People Mover, I'm like, look at that Tron cycle get built. And I'm just like, I'm so excited. Yeah, man, I love the Disney parks.
I think it'll be really cool for you to experience Disneyland, because there's a lot of people that live in the California area that always talk about how like much more intimate it is, and it's so nice having like the two parks right next to each other and having all of that around it, like having the different perspective of what a Disney park can be. Because if you go to only one or only the other, it's very difficult to go to the other one and not compare like right away.
Course.
Which is the first thing I did when I walked into Disneyland. I'm like, that's kind of a small castle. What did you say?
That's what I said too. That's so funny.
Like,
my mom tells me the same thing, because my mom went to my mom's. I'm not going to age her, but she went to Disneyland when she was 16, and after having been going to Disney World her entire childhood. I think Epcot opened. Epcot opened in what, 81?
Couldn't tell you.
Dang.
I think it's 81. So my mom was like a teenager when Epcot opened. So she had been going to Magic Kingdom, and she remembers going to Disneyland and being somewhat disappointed because of the size difference. And like, she tells me that all the time. She's like, I don't want you to have your hopes up. And I'm like, you don't understand. Like, it's not even about like what everything looks like. Like, for me, it's the fact that like Walt's apartment, or like the Club 33, and the whole, like, just all of that. I'm just gonna like die. And like the original Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Oh my God, you are gonna get your mind flipping blown. That was that's one of the rides that you're like, if it's open, you'll go on a bunch. It is so good.
Well, it's my favorite ride at Disney, like at Walt Disney World. So like, I love Pirates, and I loved the Pirates movies, and I loved the Pirates ride before the Pirates movies. So like, I know for a fact that I'm going to ride Pirates in Disneyland at least 4 or 5 times.
I mean, yeah. And I mean, I think I'll likely be your travel agent for this, so keep that in mind. But you should go eat at the Blue Bayou. It's so cool. It is so cool.
I want to do all the things. I'm sorry, Becca. I keep talking over you. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. All I was going to say is that's the only ride we didn't go on.
Because
that was the week they were exchanging red, where they were changing red to not be being sold anymore. So like, it was a good reason for me not to be able to go on it, but also I was like, but I want to go on the original Pirates. The moment for me, like, honestly, that made my entire trip was seeing the original Tiki Room.
Because
Tiki Room for no real reason, because I didn't go to Disney World till I was like 12. But like my whole childhood, the Tiki Room song is like, it's like one of my biggest childhood memories is just singing that song. And so when I walked in, I just started crying. And again, my friend's like, "Are you okay?" Like, they're all the originals.
I fully expect to have the same experience. Like, I love the history of it all, and like Walt Disney is a problematic person, but like we can't, like, he's still what he created, like the company that he created, and like the movies and the parks and all of the things. Like, there's always going to be love for him because of that, and it. Like, Disney has been such a huge part of my life, my entire life. So, yeah, I'm excited to go to Disneyland. I'm so glad this is not a Disney fan cast.
When we first started, Isaac, Ethan was convinced, just like we told him it was a Broadway fan cast, and he just, like, that flew over his head, and he was telling everyone that it was a Disney fan cast.
Becca texts me, he's like, "Why did you tell Ethan that we're doing a Disney fan cast?" I'm like, "I didn't." He's like, "He says that you did." And I sent her, like, the screenshot of me telling him, "Oh, we're going to do Broadway, like, we're going to talk about Broadway shows. It's mainly going to be about Broadway." And I sent it to Ethan. I'm like, "Where does this say Disney?" He's like, "Well, it ended in Y, so I assumed it said Disney."
It was a fair assumption, considering this is our second show in less than 20 that's strictly about Disney. So,
and I think I'm pretty sure we bring up Disney all the time.
I mean, it's gonna happen.
Disney, it's just such a big part of both of our, like, all of our lives.
Well, even outside of that, it's a big part of Broadway in general. I mean, they just had that huge concert this week that was celebrating Disney on Broadway. So, like, Disney and musicals go hand in hand. You can't, like, there's no Broadway anything that doesn't talk about Disney, at least in part. So,
yeah,
agreed.
It'll happen.
They made their mark.
Yeah, literally. So it's just, I mean, that's what made me like musicals, was growing up with Disney movies. So.
Oh, same.
Yeah,
and Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera.
I know, it's so, like, stark difference. Like, I grew up watching all of the Disney Renaissance movies, and my mom played Phantom of the Opera all the time. So I was kind of destined to just love Broadway.
See, the funny thing is that The Little Mermaid, not even close to one of my favorite Renaissance movies. I don't know. It's just, I really like the movie, which I found from watching this today. But it's just not my favorite. I'm much more of a Lion King or Hercules, honestly. That's the best.
Oh, yeah.
So, The Little Mermaid for me was the first movie that, and my mom loves to tell the story, was the first movie VHS tape that I learned how to stop, rewind, play. So I went through like 4 or 5 VHSs of The Little Mermaid because I just, like, burned through them. Because I stopped, rewind, and played. And I think that is kind of why it turned into my mom's, like, favorite princess, was because it was just, I watched it so much growing up. But if I had to pick, I think probably Lion King is by far, like, my favorite Disney Renaissance movie.
I used to answer Beauty and the Beast all the time, and then I got super into Lion King, but, like, there's nothing that
I want the, like, honest answer.
There's just
What's
like
your
nothing
honest answer?
of the Renaissance. Is that that's what the criteria is? Just the Renaissance?
Yeah, just the Renaissance movies.
Well, because those are our childhood. So, like,
yeah. Well, I guess his is slightly skewed a little bit, but it's fine.
I got them all in the back end, all in the VHS.
I mean, to be fair, I was born after The Little Mermaid came out.
Yeah.
I was born the same year The Lion King came out. Oh, God. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I mean, it would probably, I guess it would end up being The Lion King. It's just difficult when it's like The Little Mermaid exists. Like, I couldn't get rid of all of that.
Oh, no, me neither. I get, like, as someone and is like the resident Disney expert in my, like, family and group of friends, and I am by no means an expert. I get asked that question so often, like, what's your favorite Disney movie? And I'm like, that is a loaded question.
You need categories.
Like, are we talking just Disney animated? Are we talking Disney Pixar? Are we talking Disney Renaissance? Like, I can't just pick one.
I think the important thing is that, like, if I was going to recommend a movie to someone, if someone was very judgy over, like, the Disney princess films, for example, and they they would want high class film, I'd be like,
Moana.
go watch. Well, I'd say Beauty and the Beast. Like Beauty and the Beast.
Really?
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast is tight. There's nothing in it that should be taken out. It is a clean film. Yes, it is the only film that was animated that was nominated for Best Picture before they expanded it. The only other one has been Up, and that was after the expansion. So out of all the films in 1994, the one of them that was the best was Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast is a technically amazing film story-wise. The story is so clean.
I disagree. I mean, I think I'm not saying that it's a bad movie. Beauty and the Beast, again, Disney fan, love Disney movies, but at the same time, the same problem I have with Phantom of the Opera is the same problem that I have with Beauty and the Beast. Like, the Beast is a terrible person, and just because he falls in love with Belle doesn't make him any less of a terrible person.
You know what is the perfect Disney movie?
Oh God.
Brother Bear. That's my all-time favorite Disney movie, and I will die on this hill. There's no problematic faves in it at all. It's all perfect. I mean, it's slightly problematic because it talks about like spirit animals and stuff, but it's in the realm of Native Americans. It's perfect. I love that movie.
Isaac, I'm not arguing with you. I agree. I think that especially the Disney Renaissance era, like Beauty and the Beast is a great movie. It really is. If I expand it and say like current Disney princess movies, has Moana officially been a Disney princess?
Yes, she was coronated earlier this year.
Okay, so Moana is definitely my favorite Disney princess movie of all time.
Me too.
My mom used to joke because like when people would ask me like who my favorite Disney princess was before Frozen came out, like I never had an answer. Like I love them all equally. Like it wasn't like there wasn't one that I was just like that's my favorite. I was really into Pocahontas for a while. I was really into Jasmine for a while just because you know they're a little brown, and like you know yeah. And then when Frozen came out, I was like, I love Elsa so much.
She's not a princess.
And my mom's like, of course, you would decide that your favorite Disney princess isn't a princess, is a queen. And I'm like, duh. And then they're not technically Disney princesses, they're their own thing. And then Moana came out, and I was just like, yep, that's it.
Also not a princess.
Yes, she is.
She's a chief.
She's a Disney princess.
I'm aware.
Isaac just said she got like.
I don't care if she's an official Disney princess. Her life title is chief.
Oh yeah, I understand that, but she's.
I suppose.
What is it? If you have an animal sidekick, if you wear a dress and you have an animal sidekick, you're a princess.
I would love that. I want that life.
Right? I can talk about Disney forever, but we do not have forever to talk about Disney, so I guess we should wrap it up.
All right.
Isaac, where can people find you?
So the best places to find me are over on YouTube at Wotso Videos or on Instagram at Wotso Videos. Those are the main places to find me. You can find all my updates and everything I'm doing over there.
Your Instagram is awesome.
I love all your stories.
I just want to let you know that your Instagram game is like top notch.
Well, thank you. I've been trying to put more effort into it.
And you do that whole thing where you put in your story, hey, I have a new post. And I'm just like, man, gotta click it.
Yeah.
I gotta click it.
As someone that runs our social media, I'm like, okay, how would Isaac do this?
Yeah, for real. Your Instagram is top notch.
Wow, thank you.
But yeah, guys, go ahead and check out Isaac. Like we said, his YouTube videos are awesome. They're all Disney related, and we here at Sincerely Us love Disney.
And of course, go and subscribe to Following Dreams podcast as well. That would be much appreciated as well. We're trying to grow that too.
We're gonna have all of the links to all of Isaac's projects down in the description. You can follow the podcast on Instagram and Twitter at Sincerely Us Pod. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at _EenyMeeny. That's INYMEENY.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca Eddowes, BECCAEDD. OWS. Our art is by the lovely Synergetic Art. And just as a reminder, if you guys enjoy the show, if you like having the guest that Isaac is our second guest, which is super awesome, and we wouldn't be able to have opportunities like this without our audience growing. And so if you like this show, tell a friend. And so because Isaac is our second guest, I was trying to think of a quote that we always end our show with. and The Little Mermaid has no inspirational quotes.
I mean, I'm sure it does.
No, it doesn't. So, like we said, we're huge fans of Isaac's podcast, Following Dreams. So I will leave you with a Walt Disney quote. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them.
Sincerely, us.